Hi guys, welcome back to my rabbit hole of K-pop. I am Atomic Rabbit. A couple of days later than I promised, but I've had such a couple of busy days. Today's another busy day. It feels like it's already Thursday, but luckily it's only Tuesday. I have, like I announced in the last video I did for ATEEZ, I already did a first watch, but it was the day of the comeback and I wanted to watch it so many times more. But since I promised to do the next watches, or at least the second one with you guys, I haven't watched it again. And I can almost guarantee you that it's gonna be like I'm watching it for the first time again. I did see the live stages. I couldn't watch the comeback show. I was busy helping gardening at my aunt's place. I also listened to the whole album. I've listened to it on repeat while doing some gardening, which was epic because I just sat there plucking out grass, listening to this absolute masterpiece, like my friend described it, and there is no other word for it. As I was listening to each song, there were a few that I had to get into. I watched the performance of Sector 1 before I listened to the whole song. And after that first watch and that first listen of that live stage, I thought, I have to listen to this, the recorded version, to really get it. For me, it was the chorus part that I had to get used to, because it was something completely new and completely different, and it wouldn't have been something that I would listen to like that, like a whole song of this. But the unique part with this kind of music is that it's ATEEZ, and ATEEZ has this thing where it seems like their songs are composed of chapters. Their songs are divided in 3 parts. There's this first part, then we get a bridge, because every single bridge for ATEEZ is a masterpiece on itself. Every single song has such a unique bridge. And Guerrilla, I believe, has actually 2 bridges. Guerrilla seems to consist out of 5 parts instead of 3. Like, they really went out with that track. And I saw a tweet, someone saying that Movement consists of 7 title tracks, including Propaganda. I absolutely, totally agree. It must have been kind of a difficult choice to pick the title song for this album. But I think they picked the right one out of it. Just specifically because I can't even speak. Specifically because it consists of these 5 parts. And then the last part of their songs is this explosion. That last chorus, Say My Name has it, Hala Hala has it. And it seems to have been brought back explicitly in this album. Also because this follows the Say My Name LP, which is that's the 0 to 1, right? Say My Name is 0 to 1. I think I sort of get the album names now because I play Superstar and it really helps. But sometimes I still get confused and I get a challenge and it's like, go do With You. And then I go to Action to Answer and I'm like, no, it's not there. It's in All to Action. It's good for your memory instead of naming the title track for the album. What was I saying? This is going all directions, but I'm also giving you all these thoughts that I've had over the past 5 days in between hearing Jungho's high notes from Guerrilla and the Guerrilla parts. They have been playing over and over in my head. I even dreamt, I think, the night after comeback, after I listened to the whole album, I dreamt of the Guerrilla song. It was just playing in my dream over and over and over again. So yes, Sector 1. Had to get used to that. Guerrilla is amazing. Cyberpunk is... I think it might... it's really getting close to kicking Desire from my top spot of favorite songs for ATEEZ. Desire has not been dethroned, but Cyberpunk is getting there. That whole track, the build-up to that chorus, where that chorus just goes down again. Also, before I forget it, because this is one of the most important things for this comeback, for this album specifically. All of these tracks seem to have been written, the lines and the melodies seem to have been written for every member specifically, because the line distribution I want to hand a trophy to the person who came up with the line distribution, who thought of this. All of their unique vocal qualities. Of course, we have the two rappers, and they rap, so we know that they're gonna rap. But even in those raps, the distribution in there, Hongjung bringing his variety in it, Mingi with that raw, like, lion's roar, and that attitude of his. Mingi has this kind of raw, sassy sexiness thing going on. And Hongjung has that piercing, to the point, very direct, very clear, very, what would the word be? Like trickster, like joker. Like, I have a Dutch word in my head, but I don't know the translation for it in English. Sort of savage, but very on point. Savage, where you show people facts. Like, your savageness comes from a place of justice. That's kind of the thing that Hongjung has going on. And then we have those 6 amazing vocalists that each get their moment to shine. And Jongho, throughout every single track, has gotten these lines and these deliveries of those lines and of those notes of a world-class rock star. The groups and the sounds and the genres that I was reminded of listening to this whole album. There is some Linkin Park in there, there's some My Chemical Romance, there's Muse in there. I think it was Propaganda has a really Muse tone in it. I heard Evanescence. I heard Lady Gaga. Don't ask me why, but there is one of the songs that has a similar, like the monster vibe from Gaga in it. System of a Down, and all these groups are very unique in what they do. And there's also there's a song called Anastasia. Let me just look that up because I couldn't find. Yes, Slash. Song, Anastasia by Slash. Look it up because that song is such a blast. And I want to say I have a favorite from this album, but I can't say it. Because as much as I love Cyberpunk and as much as I would like to say that it's in my top 3, this whole album is. And I think the album as a whole, I think it might have dethroned every other album by ATEEZ. And the reason for that is probably the insane and new range that this K-pop based album has. It touches, this whole album, every single song on there touches the sensitive strings, the emotional sensitive strings that for me a lot of rock songs do. Foo Fighters, Metallica, and the ones that I named. I might remember more things when I'm going to be watching this again. I have some more videos for Guerrilla and for ATEEZ on my to watch later list, but I'm not sure how they're gonna go with copyright, so I decided to just put these 3 in here. Gonna watch these, and then I'll be back for more ATEEZ and more comeback things. There's also a new show gonna be coming by now that's probably gonna be heavily copyrighted, so I hope that it's gonna go through on YouTube, otherwise we're gonna have another problem with the Patreon Dropbox side. And there's the Idol Theater, and there's some more clips, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna be back as soon as I can because I still have another busy week ahead, and it's gonna be really busy, and I still have to catch up with 17. So anyways, I also have an appointment in less than an hour, so I need to go watch this. It's messy today, guys. I'm very aware of that, but it's also very hot, so please forgive me. I'm also all over the place. That's what ATEEZ does to you. Let's go. Also, I turned off the subs because I've seen them once with subs and it's really distracting, so not for this sit. This sit, I just want to watch this. That's exactly what they did. They touched the human emotion with all of this music.
I got it back. 반에 뒤집어 this game one chance 바로 지금 midday. Tack tack like that. 짧고 강렬한 이 스타일 no next 나를 따라 쉽게. 지겨 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 봐 new world. 지겨 봐 지겨 또 이제 지쳤어. 사라지는 emotion. 적은 빛을 잃어가. 수면 동기가 되어. 나는 지금 참을 수 없어 normalize. 시간이 됐어 shoot the flashing light. 춤을 춰 break that wall 우리 pillow 여기저기 울려 퍼져 Guerrilla. This is how we shout can you keep it loud 모두 다 멈출 때까지 춤을 춰 break that wall 우리 pillow 여기저기 울려 퍼져 Guerrilla. This is how we fight now we got it right 세상을 get what we are. 춤을 춰 break that wall 우리 pillow 세상을 바꿀 we are the Guerrillas. Free soul we gonna make you out 심장은 원해 마시 터지는 비트는 fire 외쳐대 칠한달 make them big out room 걷어내.
There is so much happening in this MV, and I just don't want to stop it. And I'm also sitting here with all these goosebumps, and I know I'm recording this, and you can see me, but this is one of those MVs and one of those songs where you really get sucked into it. We all know that this plays into their universe, that this is about the other world and hell ATEEZ and the parallel universe and waking people up, but that parallel universe, it's also the reality. It's happening here, and this is for us as well. It's not just the universe, and this is one of those things that has attracted me to ATEEZ right from the start when I got into Wonderland. ATEEZ embodies all these Disney stories, all that Peter Pan thing. They brought it, they made it real. They made it visible for us. It's not solely their universe. It is the world from today. It is a message to today's society, to how we are as human beings, to wake us up and to pull at those heartstrings, to pull at all these different emotions with the music that they make and the sounds that they have used in this and all the arrangements and this whole production. Like I said, they use musical elements that you put in soundtracks for movies because it brings a scene to life. All these epic scenes in all those action movies, they would be nothing without a certain form of music, and this is exactly that form of music. Also, that beat is just so insane. And I'm a pop girl at heart, but these kind of sounds and these kinds of beats, I've always looked for those in songs. But it's always those songs that keep on repeating and it gets boring. And ATEEZ brings it, they put it into a song and they make that song with all those different chapters. And it's like you're listening to 3 or 4 songs in one song. And it's never boring. It just never gets boring. This is why I'm into K-pop, but this is much more specifically why I am into ATEEZ, why ATEEZ brings me everything that I need. And I love music and I love the other groups, but if you ask me, if you could only listen to one group or one artist for the rest of your life until the end of your days, it is ATEEZ because of this.
갓다 청나들 도는 땅을 전부 울리치려다
This is... It is so insane.
감정의 눈을 감은 채 산다는 게 너에겐 아무 의미 없는가.
That whole scene where it starts with Yoonho, it zooms in, and the screens behind that, and then also just before we have that whole group standing there, which reminds me of the Thanks video for some reason, in that sort of kind of an arena looking thing. But there's also these new elements with the fish, with the fisheye lens camera, or the round camera, the zoomed in thingy, with that special effect over it. That they use on the rappers. I'm going in all senses, guys. I'm so sorry, but I can't help it. The harmonies between Yuno and San. This is one of those things where I say I want to give a trophy to the person who decided that this should be done like this. Because it's so... Yuno's voice is so naturally soft and velvet, and San's is even more soft and velvet, especially in the higher notes, and they blend together and it's beautiful. And then sometimes you have Wheon coming in, or you have Yosang who can growl and be a little bit harder on the rougher side like Songhwa, but he can also be so like husky, like ashes, like a log that has burned and it's still glowing, and it's that ashy thing, like when you poke it, it will fall apart. That's what Yosang's voice sounds like for me. And in case you didn't know it yet, I'm very weird in describing this voices of people, because I find that I can say it has a certain quality, but that never really describes what it makes me feel. And these kind of descriptions, they actually come a lot closer to the image that, or the sensation, or the smells, or whatever someone's voice give me. So yeah, I'm weird like that, in case you didn't know it yet. It's so commanding. Jongho, is it Jong? The fact that they brought history into this, because that is the Marianne leading the resistance, the painting. That's the French Revolution, but also cultures being brought into this, but they still keep it Korean, because a lot of their outfits have skirts, but hanbok is also, it's like a dress, it's kind of a skirt. So I was like, yeah, this is kind of like the Scottish variety, right, with the kilts, because those are also skirts, but that's not what it is. And I think it was especially because I saw their outfits for the Sector 1 stage, or it was maybe because I was looking at what Songhwa is wearing, especially in this scene with the black, with the sweater with the white thing on it, and then the black skirt part. It reminds me much more of that hanbok variety. So it's that Asian element. But this is my personal interpretation, my personal view from this. I am talking so much. I'm so sorry. And this is that second bridge. It is so intense. It is so insane. Someone said that was Yosang coming in, but Yosang was also sitting there, so I'm kind of confused. Yosang from that school because Inception. Anyways, the references to all these stories, to all these hints and these things that they've previously dropped. Like, ATEEZ's storylines is one of the best and easiest to follow. Of course it is complicated, because you have to look through all the things, because all the albums are part of this whole storyline, and because there's that back and forth and that parallel universe, but it still is so clear. It's straightforward. If you get it, you have it, and you will not lose it. You will not lose track. Once you are on the same path as ATEEZ, you are on the same line, you are not coming off it. They take you by the hand, and they do not let you go. It is because it is all so clear. It is all so lined out. The fact that Sector 1 was already done, probably recorded, when they did Say My Name, which is 3 years ago, they ensured that we could follow them, that we wouldn't lose them, that we wouldn't lose sight of them, that they wouldn't fly away and we would just be trying to catch up with them. That's not how it goes. They walk steadfastly in a direction that they set for themselves, at a tempo that they decided on, that they would continue to grow. And they haven't took sprints. They didn't cut corners. They just continued. It isn't a race for them. It is a journey. It's a marathon. It's a marathon that is not ending. It could end if they decide that they want to end it, but it doesn't have to. And that's what they set out to do. And they continuously push their limits forward. If you thought that they were busy the last couple of years, think again. Look at what they're doing now. But they can handle this because they are so strong, because they continuously build. They go step by step by step. They don't skip steps. That's why they can do this. That's why they can give us this. That's why we can follow them. They don't run, they walk. And I am so, so grateful for their existence, for the fact that it has been made possible for me to find them, to become their fan, but to become part of their family, to feel loved by these guys, even if they don't know my name, they don't know my face, they don't know who I am. But that doesn't matter, because they still feel my presence and I feel their presence, and they are with me. And that's what this whole album symbolizes. Their journey with us. I think that is with us and for us. It is what they want to show. It is what they want to share. It is what they deem important. And now I really need to shut up and continue to watch this, because I have to go in like 15 minutes. I will never shut up about ATEEZ's choreos. Mingy! This choreo for Yosang, the way he dances. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at Jongho, the way he dances. Now he doesn't have to sing, so he doesn't have to hold back. Remember KQ fellas? KQ fellas? That's this Jongho. This is so sexy. In every stage, this man is... It's kind of that Inception classical remix in the setup. Oh, look at Jongho. He's hitting every beat. Oh my god. This is so impressive. It's... Look at Yosang, how this is made for him. I've seen it on stage so many times, but it's also, it's their live stages. Sorry. And they're doing it a lot, so they need to conserve their energy. But for the dance practice, they didn't have to hold back, so they gave it their all. And they also didn't have to sing, which means that they could put energy into their singing. Imagine if these guys would be just a dance group. How mind-blowing. And I'm specifically pointing out Jongho and Yosang because of the way he dances, he is this kind of chaos unleashed. Like I've said this before, Yosang has this kind of chaotic style, but it's so precise and so clean. So it looks like he's this fireball, but it's all very clean and beautiful to watch. So it's like fire meets water. And Jongho is such a great dancer. I love watching Jongho dance. But because of the amount of air and energy and effort he has to put into his singing, especially for this whole album, these notes, these are rock notes. These are epic. This is not the diva kind of notes where you just belt your notes. No. This is rock. This is like a classical rock notes, which is very different. So he can't put that into his dancing. So Dance of Excesses, that is where you can see them. Because Mingi, Yunho, Wooyoung, San, Songhwa, and Hongjong, they can do that because they don't have to do those belts. They still have to sing, so they have to measure it all out. But for them, it's a little bit less straining, I would say, than Jongho. But still, we know ATEEZ, they always go hard, so it's still hard for them. I shut up, Fa, because I have to go.
네, 오늘은 저희가 게릴라 뮤직비디오 하려고
Why does it sound like Wayne has shouted a lot?
쇼케이스 현장이죠.
세네.
빨리 틀어주세요. 네, 알겠습니다.
빨리 보내요. 빨리 틀어주세요.
궁금해.
진짜 1도 못 봤어.
개그 엔터테인먼트. 개그 엔터테인먼트. Let's go. 뭐야?
이건 트레일러 그거다.
이거 티저에 나왔던
티저였어요.
거예요.
나 홍진경 마스크 만들었구나.
오, 이거 뭐였어? 이거 뭐였어?
딸렸어.
형 여기서 뭐 하고 있었던 거야 근데? 마스크
내가
뭐야?
저 스피커를 게릴라가 나오면 안 되고 침투해서.
오 예. 뭐야? 야 낭만이다 이거. 여성이 자키.
우진이 형이 티저인데. 이거 뭐야?
아니 아까 제 힙합이 힙합이네.
Ah,
전에 뭔가 몸이 좀
yeah.
형 뭐야 뭐 살아있는 힙합이야? 살아있는 힙합이야? 오 해커 여자?
뭐야? 뭐야?
마 내가 마성이 빡성어다 이런 거 뭐야? 달려 런
제대로 살렸어.
뭐야?
I also love that. It's such a somewhat move. Like,
개한네. 오 락스타. 뭐 송아랑 뭐 이번에 진짜 어디까지 찍었어요?
나?
어디까지 찍었어? 예.
락스가 또 이번에 짧은 걸 해가지고. 예뻐요. 저 파트가 너무 좋아.
I really love that hairstyle on Jungho.
픽션.
너 뭐야? 뭐야?
여기서
때려.
나온다. 완전 흰백이었어.
This is so epic. Like this is the like a thanks part. It reminds me of.
알잖아 너. 뭐야? 너도 했니? 너도 했니?
맨 마지막 촬영이었어.
오 스피커. 뭐야 깨진
원래 디니가 이게 있었어.
있었다. 브레이크 때 원래 자꾸 뭘 깨트리는구나.
오.
대보였는데? 와, 이게 제일 첫 씬이잖아요. 그래서 좋았다.
It's such. I think that is the most epic scene ever put into an MV. I love this line with sound breaking out and the. Oh.
야비.
뭐야, 짧은 머리 진짜.
노린 건가요?
에? 이거는 선생님이 만들어준. 오 멋있어.
와,
저게 이제 우리 거지.
정생.
예. 야. 야 이번 리뷰도 근데 아직 안 끝났어요.
I love home journey so much.
뭔가를 지금 감지했어요 지금.
선아.
지금 뭐가 감지했거든요 지금.
뭐야?
그만. 알겠다.
이거 탈출했습니다. 이거 탈출했어.
누구야?
항상 참지 뭐.
스크린에서 이제 계속 이렇게 보여주던 학생들한테 그 학생들 중 한 명이 저희 영상을 보고 지금 탈출했잖아요.
약간 야간 투시인 것 같은데.
누군지 아시나요?
네?
저기 그 최지 장소인데.
그런 말들도 다 해석하신다고요?
이건 거짓말이에요. 그냥 감지했습니다.
근데 진짜
뭐가 있구나.
역대급 무비다.
비싸요.
멤버들 제스처가 너무 멋있고 멤버들 특히 멋있으니까
저희가 이제
I agree. I fully agree.
맞죠. 저희가 전날을 이제 봤잖아요. 저희가. 그죠. 이제 봤어요.
정말 진짜
따끈따끈하게 봐서. 이제 저희가 쇼케이스 하는 날에 뮤비 와서 놀랍게 본것 같습니다. 아니 회사분들이 이 전날이나 알려달라 그래도 보여달라 그래도 근데 저희 절대 안 돼요 하셔가지고
오늘 새벽에 끝났대요.
네,
네, 실제로 오늘 새벽에 공식이 끝났대요.
내가 보기엔 너무 좋은 장면들이 너무 많으니까 고민을 하고 있어.
근데 그게 느껴져. 이건 진짜 이번 거에 진짜 한 땀 한 땀 만드셨다.
저 기대가 되네요. 이렇게 보니까.
그래 이쯤 되면 이제 에이티 분들은 궁금해하시겠죠. 이 마지막에 들어간 이 음악이 무엇이냐에 대해서. 그쵸. 우리 이런 스포를 많이 했었으니까.
뭔가 많이 아시는 분이시네.
모르세요?
We're really part of this family. The fact that they're just chatting like this, talking about it, it's like, yeah.
오늘 쇼케이스 마이크하고 앞으로 컴백 열심히 하도록 하겠습니다.
게릴라 뮤비 많이 많이 사랑해주세요.
안녕. Guerrilla.
And now I have 5 minutes to get ready. It's such an overwhelming comeback that it makes me feel like I'm constantly on fire. Even when I'm not listening to it or not watching anything ATEEZ, I just have that constant Guerrilla song going in my head and it's just fueling me. And I love this feeling so much. The fact that this just exists, that ATEEZ exists, that their music exists, that it is being made, that this is something that I'm getting to experience. It just feels so unreal. It feels like such a blessing. It just, dreams come true. ATEEZ for me really is like perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. We can never be perfect, but they come so close to perfection for me with every single thing that they present, that they do, that they give. Like, they are the standards that I always imagine for myself. Like where I want to be, where I want to put things at, the amount of effort that I want to put into something. And I'm really glad that I get to share this with much more people than just myself and a couple of friends. That we are part of this whole family. That we can count ourselves lucky to have found ATEEZ and be ATEEZ. All right, I have 3 minutes left. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on my couch. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for all the chaos. I will see you on the next one. 안녕.